I just listened to Vrabel. I think the most interesting thing was his sort of clarification on Christian Gonzalez. Not that it will quell any of the talk about him and his contract and why he wasn't out there and all that stuff. Vrabel said that that he wasn't physically able to take part in the joint practice the other day. He made it a point to put Christian Gonzalez into a group with guys like Christian Ellis and Spooner and Landry and Charles Woods, these guys who physically couldn't be out there. Now, and I reported this, I think it was maybe the next day, then the joint practice. The Patriots will tell you that this was injury related. I asked people, they said it was injury related. I'm not going to tell you that the contract had nothing to do with it, but that's at least the party line from the Patriots. We heard it from Vrabel in the his pregame hit, on the radio, and then tonight after the game. So that's the number one thing. He didn't sound very excited about Andy Borregales' misses in the postgame. He pointed out that the Colts were kicking like 60-yarders, and they had two kickers out there, including one who is I'm surprised he's eligible, considering he looks like he's a sophomore in high school at 5'7" and 156 pounds. But let's see what else.
Real quick,
an update on Ben Brown. Oh, go ahead.
I want to ask on the Gonzalez thing, and again, I'm not asking you to kind of like go tit for tat on reports or speculation here. I honestly, and again, you guys are hearing injury, several credible reporters. Also, injury, no reason to think otherwise unless, of course, something else happens. Feels like maybe it was a combo platter, maybe enough of an injury to not go out there and risk anything. I don't want to go out and face a bunch of guys. I practicing against my guys, they got my best interest at heart. These guys don't necessarily when you're playing against an opponent, so I can understand maybe being cautious. But a report out there, Tom Curran hinted at, or at least suggested that Christian Gonzalez might be one of the things holding up the contract is not that he's not being offered top dollar for right now. It's that he wants what he thinks top dollar is going to be potentially in 2027 because he doesn't want to leave money on the table. If that's true, that would be the first case of that I've heard, which is I want my extension to be the numbers I would get if I waited a year. It doesn't work that way usually. You have to wait a year. So I don't know, the veracity of the report or if that's 100% on, but that would be something if that were the case.
Well, yeah, and I also heard, I think it was on the pregame show with, I think it was Jim Murray who intimated this, and maybe I haven't heard exactly what I've heard a little of what Curran said, and I understand, and it falls in line sort of what Albert Breer has reported about how Gonzalez and Witherspoon sort of want to have game-changing contracts at the position. I think it was Murray, and I don't know where this came from, that Gonzalez might want a percentage of the cap going forward so that he's not underpaid. All I have to say is if that's serious, if he's serious about basically either of those, getting a contract that changes the landscape at cornerback and or getting a contract that basically he gets a percentage of the cap, and the number I heard was 18%. And again, I don't know what that means. There is virtually no chance the Patriots are giving him a contract like that. No. I mean, we're talking about a franchise where Robert Kraft, he told me, and then he's told the story publicly, where he had this plane ride with Tom Brady out to the West Coast. I forget exactly when it was, but I would say it was probably around 2013, maybe before that, where Kraft told him, look, Tom, we're not interested in having a quarterback that's worth 20% of the cap. And if that's something that's important to you, okay, you're probably going to have to go and get that elsewhere. But if you want to stay here and, his whole line about we're going to build up a team and win championships and all that stuff, then you're going to have to take less. So, and I've said this all along. I said, look, if Christian Gonzalez, the Patriots, I'm sure the contract they offered him, there was a modest raise for this year. there was a raise on the 5th-year option, and then the new money started after that, where it would be one of these contracts where they say he's now the highest paid cornerback in the game. Yes, that's in new money 2 years out, when it's 3 years and let's say $35 million per. The Patriots, I could see them doing something like that, where he gets a raise for the next couple of years and then he gets his big money. Like I said from the beginning, if he wants the Stingley deal where he gets the big money now, like approaching like $30 million for this year, I have a hard time seeing that happen. I really do.
Yeah. It's an interest. Yeah.
Based on Patriots history, I mean, they can always change. They can always change up. We've seen them. Their spending the past couple of years has been out of the norm. So maybe they would do something.
Well,
now, but I don't know.
They've paid good talent top of market before. You saw it, with Gronk had his first deal. Logan Mankins had his first deal. But again, you're paying you're paying guards, you're paying tight ends. They're not eating up as much as the cap as, say, a receiver, a cornerback, or eventually a quarterback.
And these guys, Devin McCourty had to threaten to leave in free agency. Had 1 foot out the door. Vince Wilfork was, a tug of war, and they finally paid him.
Yeah.
And look, let's also point out this is when Bill was here. We don't know how, so far in the year plus of the Vrabel regime,
land of milk and honey,
they have done things differently, as far as money than they did under Bill. So we'll just have to see. But it's a tough situation. It really is.
Okay.
It's a scorching sports summer, and you can make all your picks on Prize Picks. The WNBA and baseball are heating up, and with big tennis slams and major golf tournaments on the horizon, there's no better place for all your summer sports picks than Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app. The thing I love about Prize Picks is how easy it is to follow sports and develop a rooting interest, and it works everywhere in America. I'm not a huge sports fan of some of the other sports, but with Prize Picks, I'm making picks on the WNBA, soccer, and even baseball, and Prize Picks makes it super easy. All I need to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stats. Then I submit a lineup and I can follow along with the progress right in the app. Love how it's built in. You know exactly what the score is, how your player's doing. I love that. And with their new blended lineups, I can add a winner, spread, or total pick on top of my player picks for even bigger payouts. It makes watching the games even more exciting when every goal and every pass could win me money. Prize Picks is available in all 50 states, including all of New England. The biggest stars in women's basketball are in the heart of their season, and there's no better place to run your game on the W than Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app. We've got MVPs raising their games to new heights and a rookie class ready to take over, all while teams are fighting for playoff positioning. Make a lineup with player stats, pick game winners, spreads, or totals, and combine your picks in the same lineup, all on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $150 instantly in lineups if you win your first $5. Again, that's code CLNS to get $150 instantly in lineups if you win your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app.
Make sure to subscribe to our new channel, Patriots Newsfeed on CLNS, giving you clips, behind-the-scenes footage, and much more. And as always, keep it here, our Patriots on CLNS for our full podcast videos.